Hola, ¿cómo está?
Yo creo Taco Bell.
Hello.
Uh,
Okay.
¿Qué pasa?
Look, let me tell you,
House?
these people here, they uh they lean into the racism. All right.
Mm,
People be like I saw somebody who wasn't, Mexican walk up to a Mexican person and was like, and they was
mhm.
like, buy this? You gonna buy this? And I was
Yeah.
like, yo, we leaning into it. This is what
Hard. Real hard.
gorgeous place. See, I got my tan. You see my tan? My tanses.
So you
My
got
tans.
trying to be my
Uh,
complexion. I see.
yeah, trying to be stopped by the police.
Mm. Get
Like I was,
paper,
I was in the
paper
barely making
access.
it. Yeah, I was in the barely making it section. Now I'm stopped by the police. Kissed by the police.
Mhm.
That's not
Mm,
funny, y'all. Sorry.
mm,
The world is a fucked up place. That's all I got. It's not funny. A little funny.
mm.
Um, no, no, no. I'm kind of missing home though.
Oh no, yeah, of course. Three weeks to do that.
Mm-hmm. Kind of missing home. Just missing my babies.
Oh jeez, yeah, your cats didn't worry about you. They came up to me and like, okay, yeah, we know you with us this time. We know what's up. We know she don't give a damn about us. She don't give a shit. So what's up, bro? How you doing?
Hey, what's up, dude? What's up, dude? What's up? Um, so today, I was at a place, and there was a young lady who it was her birthday tomorrow. Tomorrow's her birthday, and she was celebrating early. So
Mm,
she got off of work late last night, and she's been up drinking ever since.
mm.
So I would like to say I'm old, but I've always been this responsible because I'm like, you've been drinking consistently. I don't see no water in sight. I'm like, hey, let's get you some water. Hey, let's do this. And the dudes was like, why are you cock blocking?
Wow.
Like they're just looking at me like, no, she got the shot. And I'm like, nah. Like, dudes, like I get it. This is another country. This
Yeah,
little
yeah,
skeevy.
oh yeah. Yeah. You can get a case in this country too, and you don't want nobody wants to go to Mexican jail.
Yeah, 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 yeah. You want that smoke. So, I mean, they didn't push up on her, but they were waiting for her to make a bad decision.
It's circling like vultures and everything.
Yes, they were very circling like vultures. And I'm sitting there trying to get water in her, and she's like, "Oh, at least she stopped drinking, right?" And she's like, "We should dance." I'm like, "Oh,
Okay, that's what we're doing. Okay, cool.
okay. How about you dance? Get some of this alcohol out your system."
Yeah, sweat it out. That's a good way to get it out.
Yeah. And
Sweat.
then so I found out she's like 25. I'm like, "Oh, 25-year-old mistakes. Aw."
Yeah.
And she's like, "How old are you?" I'm like, 42. Oh my God, you're 42? Wow, you look amazing. I'm like, I know, right?
Mhm.
But
Mm.
I mean, that is a perfect way to discuss. Those gentlemen are a perfect way, or the repercussions of what could have happened is a perfect way to discuss the topic of our conversation, of our podcast. The topic of our podcast. That's it. The price we pay for pum pum and penis. All right. The price we pay. And so uh when I sent you that title, what were you thinking?
I don't. I knew it had something to do with whatever's going on around you. I didn't know. Didn't question it. It's like okay, cool. First, I didn't see it because it was on the other. You sent it in the other messenger, so I didn't
Yeah,
even see
no.
it at all. And I'm like, okay. When you told me, I'm like, okay, something happened. So I'll find
No,
out.
nothing. Well, nothing happened per se.
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
sent you a video associated with it, right? It was Hot Damn I Rock.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. Gotcha.
It was a video associated with him. It was like Hot Damn I Rock people, for people who don't know, had a YouTube station channel a long time ago when I was probably more irresponsible or more responsible. I think I'm more responsible now. And he used to do like I told you, there's the right way to be wrong. And he used to do a lot of videos about the right way to be wrong, right?
Mhm.
So he had I sent the one video to you, the bottom bitch theory.
Bottom bitch.
The bottom bitch theory was a very good wrong way to do relationships, but a very good explanation for wrong way. But he had a bunch of. He is very thought provoking, even in his toxicity of explanation. It was very thought provoking, and it made perfect sense for the wrong way of doing relationships. You saw the bottom bitch there. You remember that?
I saw it a while back. I didn't look back again, but yeah, I remember it a little bit. Sort of.
Well, so a lot happened to him in the years. It was like 6 years, I think. Since he was doing those YouTube videos, right? He got sick. He got really sick. The doctors didn't know what was going on with him. But he was doing videos updating it. And shout out to him for exposing the veins that he did expose during the process that he was going through.
Something about the dog. He had a dog and all that.
Dog died.
The dog died, yeah.
Yeah, the dog.
Yeah.
His best friend died. His best friend who was taking care of him while he was dying. Right. He lost a ton of weight. They didn't know what was wrong with him. His best friend was the one taking care of him the whole entire time. He ends up dying. And it was just constant something after something, to the point where you see the evolution of who he is as a person. And now he ain't about the shits. Like, he ain't the bottom bitch dude no more. No. He's like, what's the purpose of life?
He went through life or death situation, so now he's questioning his mortality and understanding. He's starting to connect the dots. Different stuff. And I've said this before. I've been through that situation also. With the many times I've been faced with death, as we talked about yesterday when we was by Mama yesterday, talking about that, laughing about it, right? Laughing about the fact I came inside with no shoes, no jacket, nothing. And
I remember that.
Yeah, just in her, and she didn't know anything. And I'm like, no, I didn't tell you nothing because I was going out to get them niggas. I was going out to get them, so I couldn't tell you what was going on because I had to go get some tennis on. I had to give me another jacket.
I was cold.
Yeah, exactly. The hawk was on my ass. They left me barren.
I remember that. I forgot when you said I remember it. My thing is, so did you watch the video I sent? It was a 20-30 minute video.
You talking about which one?
The last video he did where he discussed the bottom bitch theory.
I've seen it before. I didn't.
He discussed it again.
Oh no, I thought it was the same one, so I didn't.
No, I sent you the first one because the first one was a reference, but the second one was a new video in reference to that, right? Okay. So I'm setting up this story to tell you what he's been through and to tell you where his mindset is at currently. People continue to come up to him and be like, yo, when you gonna teach me how to get them bitches? When you gonna do this? Like, I'm trying to get hoes.
Nope, stop. No, that's not where I'm at.
Well, and he's talking to him about it. He's like, he realized it's a very thought-provoking conversation, I feel, as somebody with a vagina, a thought-provoking conversation about the price he paid for pussy, the price these women paid for dick. It wasn't dick per se as much as the underlining of it, right? So if you watch the video, he's saying that back in the day, it was all about fucking. When he got sick, the same girls who he was like smashing and dashing and that kind of stuff and not calling were the same girls who was like, hey, let me visit you. Are you okay? They were crying for him. They were like wanting to support him and like show him love and whatever the case may be. And he was like, yo, and he's like, he realized ashamedly that all these women that he was just having sex with, and not to be crass, but he said it was great sex. He said their value of poom poom should have been held themselves at a higher regard to be dealing with this dude who never said a word to them. They just had sex and cuddled because he cuddles afterwards and then puts them out in the morning, but they never had conversations. And now he can't have sex with them because he's ill. All he can do is talk, and he realized he don't know them at all. And so he asked them the question. Why did they deal with him? And he's like, and he had to sit there and sit and in the answer that they gave, they were like, "You didn't beat me."
Mm-hmm.
He's like, "You didn't beat me. You haven't done you." And like, yeah, you lie. Yeah, you know, you won't call me the next day until you're ready to have some more. But I know what you are, and what you are, I can deal with.
Mm-hmm.
I can't deal with these the other people who are in our lives who use them and abuse them and like physically hurt them and physically took for them. This price that they had to pay for being with him was a manageable price
Mm-hmm. You deal with the issues
versus
you know, basically.
yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But that blew his mind. It blew his mind because he was like, he didn't know these bodies that he was utilizing for his own pleasure and their pleasure too, sure, were more than that. There were these experiences beyond that. And like now that he has his experiences and those things, he realized that how he has been viewing women and like sexual partners in the past. I won't say women, but his sexual partners. Then he says to himself that he was trying to figure out where it started. What's the origin story behind placing so much value on poom poom and having to just have sex with it without seeing more value in whatever? He says that he thinks about it. He thinks it has to do with school.
Mm-hmm.
It has to do with school where you're coming into school and you're like new and they're the cool kids. The cool
Mm-hmm.
kids are like, sit with us.
They all doing it. They all doing it. So you feel left out and you want to be part of it. So that's, that, that whole, not really push, but that inner weight that you feel of, being included. You want to be included in something.
Well, not included, not excluded.
Oh, not excluded. Yeah. Not excluded.
Yeah. So there's like included,
Yeah.
excluded, and then this little, what is it called? What a purgatory area
Yeah.
where they don't feel any kind of way for you.
Yeah.
But
You just
yeah, you're floating.
just floating around everybody. Yeah. And that was me floating around on the outside. You know, every so often I stick my head and be like, "Hey, what's up? What's up? All right, talk shit, whatever," and I get back out.
Which is good.
Yeah, no, that's out. That's me. That was me.
Purgatory was a great place. Me too. Purgatory was an amazing place to be because nobody can peer press you into things because they never had your attention too long.
Plus, they don't know you like that.
Yeah, yeah. But for him, it was a big deal. Like he was watching this stuff, hearing this stuff. He was talking about girls. He's like, it blew his mind that girls were having sex in school. He was saying that it, like, he was saying one day they turned their sights on him and they were like, yo, man, you can't say shit to us till you get some pussy.
Mm-hmm.
Like who, like what's, like you can't say anything this like until this happens. So now for him to be somebody who's something, he has to do this one thing. So he does this one thing, which accumulates the conversation of taking somebody's virginity is as simple as a conversation on the phone with his homeboy or a pat on the back from the other boy. That's all it meant to him.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
he thought he was good.
It wasn't like he was gonna get anything major out the deal.
Yeah, yeah. And then he gets patted on the back. He thinks he's good. He can rest because he's pleased. He fed the beast, but the beast is like, I mean, that's one pussy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like I've been with thousands, I've been with hundreds and whatever. And then you become a person who chases the number because the number validates who you are.
Yeah, yeah. You feel like you're competing with everybody on the outside, so you want to be the biggest man. You want to seem like the big man on the block, and it goes back. That's something that goes back innately with men. Like we used to conquer worlds, we used to conquer land and everything. That was part of that. Like men are constantly wanting to do something, the next bigger thing, in order to be viewed a certain way, and that's what it was. You want to be viewed a certain way, so this becomes your image. This becomes who you are.
Well, yes, yes, and I agree. I remember listening to that. Well, I remember, and we'll get to the ladies part of things too, because what he said actually helped me. It was like a mirror in regards to me and how I view things in the past and now. But I remember going on a trip. I went on a guy's trip, right? I was the only girl with like, I guess 5 guys who I went to college with.
Mhm.
And I watched them on the trip, right? Normally, I travel. I travel a lot. And I'm
Mhm.
not saying, when I say this, I have this conversation, I'm not saying all men.
Yeah, I
Um,
don't do that. See, and people always do that. I never do that. I never, because I know if I deal with majority. If I say something about women, at least I feel it's either majority or close to majority, so I could say something like that. I don't never deal with absolutes. So nah.
Yeah, well, and also the people in my circle as well.
Mm-hmm.
So my experience from being the girl who has a lot of male friends who, would get punched in the shoulder, oh, that's Nick, whatever. I normally travel by myself. When I traveled with them, it was an eye-opening experience because everywhere we went, it was like who we could knock down.
Yeah, exactly. They looking for the put the hook in the fit in the. Hey, we going fishing. Every time they going somewhere, we going fishing.
And I figure in my mind, because I'm always trying to do 1 + 1 = 2. I figure if I wanted this like little thirst fest thing to stop, I just needed to hook them up with chicks. So I was like, I started running interferences, right? Every single one of them got hooked up. So I was like, oh,
now you was invited to all the parties. Now you invited to everything. Oh shit, she going out with us all the time.
Oh yeah, but they were really impressed with the fact that I'm like, having a girl is like the equalizer. Like you don't look skeevy.
Nope.
But the thing that bothered me was after every single one of them dried the swamps, I guess. I don't know, drain the swamps. The next day they woke up ready to go again. I'm like, the fuck?
Gotta go again. It's that insatiable urge. You can't feed me, Seymour, feed me. Little Shop of Horrors.
And like I said, I'm getting some women in a second. But after I sent you that title, like all this stuff started coming. So I started talking to my homeboy, and my homeboy was like, I told him the title of the conversation. He was saying, oh yeah. He's like, and when you get older, sex doesn't hit the same way. You don't like, it's not the enjoyment because he did it so much that it became like a chore to do, not an intimate act.
So let me pause and throw an Easter egg in there. So the reason why we got as far as women not having as much control in relationships to get the relationships is because of what you just said, right? For men, it's not what it used to be because we've overindulged. So women, y'all don't have the control like that with y'all poom poom, as it used to be back in the day. That's what it is. That's what's going on. So
I agree.
go ahead.
No, I agree. And I actually had. No, you didn't lie. You didn't say one. There was not one lie you told. And to add insult to injury, not only does your poom poom not have value that it used to have, now you gotta do tricks.
Yeah, bust wide open.
Now you gotta be into some shit because they need something up. And I say they, but I mean people in general. Like and not to knock people who enjoy sex, live your best life. I'm just saying. For me, I remember because I overthink every fucking thing in life. I remember being a kid when I was still a virgin in high school, watching all these people busted wide open. And then all I knew is, again, 1 + 1 = 2. I saw them kissing, she pregnant, kiss and get you pregnant.
Hey, that's what it is. I don't want to kiss.
My first kiss was until college because I was like, nope, I ain't no baby. You ain't getting me. But I also remember thinking before I got married and I was engaged, I remember thinking, okay, this is a marathon, not a sprint. So don't be pulling out all your tricks on the first.
Pace yourself.
Yes, you got to learn to pace yourself. And I remember thinking that, right? So I wasn't doing that, like I wasn't doing everything under the sun. I honestly had, ladies and gentlemen, my embarrassing moment of the day. I honestly had a time frame calendar, a list of things to do to pace myself out. So I wouldn't and Willie, you know how I am. Like how many things have I been into? Like how many sports? How many
different stuff?
Like, and then you never hear about it.
Change something again. Then change again. Then change. Yeah.
So I'm like, what if I'm like that when it comes to people and
Mhm.
sex and stuff like that? I'm like, oh, I gotta protect myself from myself. And so
And
I
that
had to
can
listen.
happen though. That can happen. That can actually happen. You get because you constantly chasing a certain high. You
Yes.
know, adrenaline junkies do that.
Yeah. It's also a thing for ADHD. I learned that
Yeah,
after the
that's
fact.
ADHD thing. That's why I
Yeah.
could never, mm.
I don't know what that was gonna
Yeah,
say.
yeah, that's why
You could you
that's
could
why
never win.
that's why I had a bunch of situations, that I was indulging in, and it was always something next, and what's next, and okay, add another person, and okay, all right,
Yeah. But
wow,
it makes
nice.
sense though. It
Yeah.
makes sense because it's like, all right, when you start defining life's purpose,
Mhm,
you everybody wants excitement. Everybody's chasing something. That's why
mhm,
relationships have to have this tumultuous element. It can't just be a chill,
mhm,
enjoying each other's situation. It has to be like these highs and roller coaster lows, that kind of stuff. And it turns into those things. And I'm getting off topic a little bit when I say that. It turns into those kind of things that for people, if you just figure out a way to pace yourself,
mhm,
um, think about like the people who, and I'm stepping on all my toes. Willie, no, the people who get married real quick,
mhm.
and then they have, except for the baby part, I didn't step on my toes there. But
Yeah,
who get married, who start dating, get married real quick, and then have a baby. Like you miss so much in
yeah.
between those moments by
And, and
moving so
and
fast.
plus, people pressure them on the outside, so they think this is what you're supposed to do. They look at other people, oh shit, this is the next thing to do, and they don't never sit in a moment and enjoy each other. They never build a strong bond when they do that because they're looking for the next great thing to do, so we can say, check, we done did it. Check,
Yeah.
we did it. And after it's all done, it's like, I don't like this motherfucker. I don't even know, or I don't know him.
What if I don't want this? I
Yeah,
don't want
or that
this.
too. Yeah.
I don't even I know me now, and who me now is totally different. Like that's what happened with me. When
Mhm,
I once I woke up and decided what I wanted for my life,
mhm,
it didn't look like that.
mhm. Yeah.
But because we've been told the value of our own vaginas,
Mhm.
and we've been told the value of having a man. I say penis, but I mean, like, I don't just mean the price we pay for sex. I mean, for being with the opposite sex or the same sex, the
Mhm.
price we pay just not to be alone
Yeah.
for a minute or a
That's true.
day or forever.
I
So,
noticed that early on, and to be honest, I mean this is 100% honesty. I use that in my own. I use that to my advantage because I realized early on that, and because I deal with women, I can't speak on men, right? But because I deal with women, a lot of women don't like to be alone. They don't like to. They don't like silence. They don't like. They have to have stuff going on all the time, or they're in their head a lot. So I learned that early in life, and it was like, okay, I just have to be this person in order to capitalize off of it, and it served me well. But
yeah,
at some point, I got tired of being that person, and I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm doing too much now. Like, because this is who you become. You are that person, and to everybody around you, that's who you are. And then you can never be yourself because then they want to know what's wrong with you. It's a problem
yes,
when you actually be yourself,
yeah,
and that's what ended up happening. That's also a price you pay. If you think about it,
you lose yourself.
you lose yourself in a situation. Yeah.
That's like, it's a perfect example.
Hmm.
It's a perfect example. And like, because you don't deal with men, I do. I can tell you exactly what men do when they don't want to be alone either. Their alone just looks different, right? Video games. They get lost in video games to keep themselves from thinking of things in life and whatever. They hang out with their boys, sports. Like somebody told me, and I don't know if this is true. Somebody told me that the origin of sports has to do come from Greece, and it has to do it's
It's war. It's basically it was about war. It's the
no, the meaning is to take your mind off of something.
well, I don't know about that.
Origin is to take your mind, is to like not to deflect, but I can't think of the word, but it's to take your mind off of it, right? So we do these things to take our mind off of what,
Mhm,
and whatever the what is. That's so when we want, it's like for men, I told you, in my opinion, women want security, we
mhm,
want safety,
mhm,
men want the emotional, they want the emotional intimacy. They want intimacy, and they want to feel emotionally secure. Right? It's the same kind of it's security, but in different
it's
forms.
different. Like I told you, we're totally different when it comes to men and women. We cross at an axis somewhere, and if we could find that point, we could have terrific relationships. But we're constantly chasing the other in a certain way, and we're missing for some reason.
I think I know what the axis point is, though. I mean, I think the reason why we're missing each other is the fact that we can't see. To acknowledge this, right? To acknowledge, it sounds dick-like to say every day I wake up thinking about sex and having the next person and whatever. But until you acknowledge that, you can't figure out the why behind it. Why are you doing that?
Yeah.
Is it really that amazing? Is it really that thing? Because after a while, I used to watch my homeboys. I'm like, this looked like a chore. Like, this looked like the next thing to do. And I remember my best friend used to get mad at me all the time because I would come with these stories where like something almost wild happened.
Yeah.
Something almost amazingly wild happened to me. And I was like, no, thank you.
Off. Yeah. Oh.
Yeah. I always was like, no, and like to the point where he's being mean. And I'm like, well, I have a lot of fun. He said, you never do anything.
Yeah, exactly. You don't close the deal, damn it. It's all about closing the deal. If you're gonna hunt something, you gotta kill it, you gotta eat what you hunt.
Yeah. And
you was a sport hunter. That's what you was. You threw it back in the water, you threw it back out there. You just winged it and let it go.
Yeah, well, but for me, that's enough because I pace myself. Right? For me, like if we talk about like what matters, to me it's enough to know that somebody finds me attractive. That's enough. I don't have to go all, and I'm not saying there's nothing wrong if you want to go all the way, but I'm saying the reason why you do things matters, right? And to get to the women part of things, when he talked about how the women that he was sleeping with him did so excitingly because he was the best out of the bad options. And they thought that's what they deserve. This good, bad option.
Well, so we had a talk before about something, and I'm not going to say to what it was about, in totality, but what it came out was that what your best, what your good is, right? We can't answer for the other person's good is. Whatever we think is like that's shit, that's shit, that might be their best. So that's probably what it was for, for them. It's like, okay, this might not look ideal to you, to Nicole, but to them, that's the best case scenario that they can hope for from wherever they came from.
Yeah. But it has to do with you not thinking that you can get better. Or not even identifying what better is.
Thinking about it, it's just seeing what's around you, right? If you come from the hood, you come from the slum, and this dude is actually taking you to go out to eat and doing things with you. You don't see that where you at. It depends on what you're around. So it's a bunch of factors to that. But even with me, right? I was always, I'm going to treat them good. I don't, I'm not going to be the person to treat them wrong in the situation, no matter what. I don't care how left it went. I'm going to treat them. I'm going to treat them with decency, because other than that, I have sisters. That was the first thing. I got sisters, so I know how it would feel or what I would want to do had, something happen with y'all. So that was the first thing. But it was, like you said, it's a camaraderie thing with guys. It's it's one of them things, and you don't think about it when you're young because you're just doing something. Versus when you get older, and you're like, all right, you think about all the ramifications. What I'm gonna pay on the back end? What's gonna happen if I sleep with this one? She got them crazy eyes. She got look. Nope, I'm not doing it. Nope, you go sit over there. No, ignore. So. I think it takes men longer to get to that point to where they start thinking past the sexual experience. They have to have something to lose, first of all. If you're in a place where you're just really not really doing much, you're not going to think like that. You're going to be like, all right.
Well, I mean, for him, it took trauma. It took a lot of trauma for him to get to that place. understanding what's important in life. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't be like, even Kevin Samuel said that shit. I think you sent me the video, or I sent it to you. Abba and them did one video on Kevin Samuels where he was talking to a man who said he just want to sleep with multiple women. He was like, man, like, what about intimacy? But he's older. He understands.
He understands that. Yeah. When you're younger, you don't understand intimacy. It's how notching your belt. Okay. Oh, look what she's doing. Okay, she's doing tricks. Okay, I'm gonna keep this one over here. Notching your belt. You know, it's like a junkie almost. You know, you chasing something.
Yeah. And for women, and I had to sit there and think about this because I was doing this right now, where what, like, his example was these women who were getting beat. He didn't understand why they were coming to him and how they got in his life, because these were some great women and they were in these abusive relationships. But if he unpacked it, his mom used to get beat. So he's attracted to that kind of woman. And he doesn't even know it. But he doesn't give them it's his. Those situations weren't terrible for them as much as it was for you, because you knew better about how bad the situation were. But I mean, for a brief reprisal of a moment, they got some relief, and you provided it.
So I'm not going to say that he didn't really know. Think about this, right? If they treated him a certain way, they treated him a certain way because of the fact that he was awesome to them in their eyes, right? So he got something out of it, right? They treated him amazing because he wasn't these other guys. So that's probably what he looked for. It wasn't the fact that he knew they were getting beat, but the way they treated him was like, oh shit,
I mean, I think it's an internal. I think we attract what we attract.
Yeah.
Right. Like a codependent person will attract a codependent person.
Yeah.
So I think he probably was the savior in his relationship, and his mom and his stepfather, where he was the one stepping in and doing that kind of stuff. So he attracted people needing saving from that standpoint, even if he only gave them,
for a little while.
Yeah. They had that moment of being saved, and whether he knew it or not, that's what it was.
But also, like, what we don't understand also in that little saving part of it, right? He gave them a different idea of what a guy's supposed to do. Because I've heard this also, right? In my personal right. You treated me a certain way, and then so then they find somebody else, and they don't look at the dudes they used to look at. They don't deal with the dudes they used to deal with. Now you become that standard that they try to hold their self up to, or the guys up to, that they deal with from then on.
Hopefully.
So I mean,
or you just become a great experience and always stays in the great experience. Hopefully I mean, like I'm saying, like I was guilty of this. I mean, like today, like to this day, I realized I was doing the same thing. Like I'm dating people, but I'm dating people I know I would never be serious about, because I know that the place where I'm in now is a place where I can't trust anybody. I can't trust myself to have feelings for that person because I don't want to get lost in them. Right. So I deliberately get with people who I ain't getting lost in.
So I'm about to drop another jewel. So with women, this is what women do a lot of times because they want to guard their feelings and they want to have control of their self. So they do this stuff, finding guys they can't see anything with, right? They don't have any interest. And then on the back end, after, it falls to shit or whatever happens with it, now they're complaining about no good men. But, like you say, we attract to what we want to deal with. We attract that. And they pick those guys based on whatever lack of control they felt they had in the worst relationship they had.
Yeah, no, I don't deny. But just hearing him say it was like, it was eye-opening to me. I'm like, oh, I'm not the only one doing that. Like, I mean, now I'm not saying nobody beat me or anything like that, but trauma is trauma. It looks different, but trauma is trauma. So for me, like me to be emotionally invested in something, that's trauma for me because I can't afford it now. Now, that being said, I make no mistake. I don't lie to people and say I do therapy. I think therapy is a great tool for you to figure out your shit. and I don't mean it in a negative way. I mean it in understand the dynamics of you so you can figure out why am I doing that? Why is this happening? And that kind of thing. So when I watched him, I was like, shit, I am doing that. And now I got to stop doing it. Now that I see it, I have to fix it. The price that I pay for companionship should not be at my not detriment, but also like lowering my standards. And I don't mean he gotta be a 6-figure man. I don't mean, you know what I mean? Like I don't mean
characteristics. It's not about monetary or socioeconomical. It's about characteristics or what you want versus what you're dealing with, because you don't want to you don't want to be totally invested in this guy.
Yeah. And I gotta keep it 100 myself. Like if they aren't worth your time and you know they aren't worth your time, then they're dragging you down. So don't protect yourself, fix the problem.
Yeah, and that's the thing we don't see. Like we don't see that progressive, drag. We don't see that gradual, that gradual thing. We just wake up one day and notice that, damn, when did this happen? When did I, become this person? And
yeah.
it
I think that's how it happens though. The whole there ain't no good men around because you purposely, like when you're healing yourself, like think of it like this. I got a cut. The cut has to scab and heal in the whole nine. The cut was the former relationship that did all the damage. And then while it's healing, I'm dealing with all these people who I know aren't worth my time. And I'm protected in that, right? That's the band-aid. I'm protected in it. So when I'm ready and healed and I go back, I'm gonna go back to the thing that hurt me because I never figured out how to get. I can't be in fight and flight. You know what I mean? I can't be in chaotic mode. I have to have a mode. Yeah.
And I always said this now, and I, because I deal with women don't attack me, but I always say that women need to take some time in between relationships with their self. They need to do that to get out of whatever bond they have, whatever emotional tie they have with that person, because what they're going to end up doing is they end up getting a guy, and that guy will reflect the last guy because you have that emotional tie with this person. So I think that needs to happen a lot of times. And because, like I said before, I notice women don't like to be alone. They don't like to be there with their thoughts and think about all this stuff that weighed them down. They will go find another person that reminds them a little bit like that person, and they'll get right back in the same shit.
I don't know if it's, now granted, I agree about not being alone with their thoughts. I'm expanding it out. Nobody likes to be alone with their thoughts when it's toxic, when you're having toxic thoughts. But I don't know if it has that. I don't know if they take ownership of their part in their own detriment.
No, and they don't. I'm not saying they do. What I'm saying is subconsciously, they find something that feels similar to it. It feels a little bit like, oh, this person, I don't know what, and it's something that they don't even know. This person, it seems like I knew this person for a while. Like I know this person
because I recognize this person.
I recognize the underlying stuff, the characteristics or whatever, and you're drawn to this person because of you didn't take time to to get away from the last one. What? I didn't hear you. You muted.
Knock on the door. I'll send you the number.
I thought you was
sorry.
Oh.
So fun fact, people.
Yeah.
No, what I have is sewer water backed into my house in New Orleans.
Damn. Oh, what?
Yeah, the rain.
The same pipe the same issue with the bathroom downstairs?
40 days and 40 nights.
Oh,
that type of rain. Yeah, it backed up everything. So I don't know what's happening now. We think that a pipe collapsed. So that was that. That's why I had to take that call. Because I freed it to the rescue. I just like we don't take ownership of the shit that we like, and nobody wants to say that, right? It's a
Uh-huh.
very uncomfortable situation to say that the person who's been abused is the person who needs to be like who's a part of the problem
Uh-huh.
if they allow themselves to be abused.
Uh-huh.
I'm not saying you deserve it.
It's perpetuate their own problems, especially if they get in another something else again that looks like it, and you're the common denominator.
Yeah. At the end of the day, the first hit, it's not your fault.
Mhm.
Second hit's not the 10th hit is not your fault. None of that's your fault. But you staying in it means that you're allowing yourself to be subjected to this.
If you go through something 3 or 4 times with different people,
It's not your fault though. I'm not
but
I mean,
okay, yes, it is because you didn't get help. If nobody else outside of you can say where you at in life, right? I can't tell where you're broken at. You keep choosing the same person or same type of people. That's on you because you didn't get help for the issues
but
you
that's
had.
what I mean. I'm not saying that you're responsible for him hitting you. You're responsible for not taking care of yourself
Oh,
and getting yourself out of the situation or not seeing the worth that you have. Because sometimes, like you said it yourself, sometimes people think that's everything we go through is natural.
mm-hmm.
Like I remember thinking that being in a relationship means you had to struggle in the relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was like, oh, and I
Struggle up.
remember, yeah. I remember thinking to myself, I remember sometimes we mean well all day long, but sometimes the messaging, we have to be careful of how we message things. Because I remember the conversation that my aunt had with me on the day of my wedding, where she was like, they're going to do things,
Mm-hmm.
and it's your job to forgive them. Like, I understand what she was trying to do,
Mm-hmm.
but I would never give that advice to my nieces and
No,
nephews
yeah,
without quantifying it better.
yeah. You have to make more. You have to talk more about it. Like you have to have your hard nose. You have to have your hard line to where okay, if you do this, this is what's going to be because you have to have a conversation about that prior to even getting into it. So
Yes.
yeah, that was bad information.
Heidi, I'm not suggesting that it's simple to leave. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying that you are a part of the reason why this is happening. That's it. I'm not saying it's going to be simple to leave. I'm not going to say that it's going to be a mental challenge. That's like me saying, like, I need to lose weight. I know I need to lose weight. I'm not about to sit here and say it's a glandular condition if I'm eating fried chicken. Yeah. Yes, I can't stand him. Like, I'm not going to tell you it's a glandular condition if it's.
It's nothing health wise. You just keep on
Well,
waking
no,
up in the middle of the night.
but it could be glandular too.
But you don't know that. You can't.
But
You
no,
can't say that.
it could be. Like, it could be that. And who says it can't be both?
It could be. But what I'm saying is, you can't say that because you didn't go see about it. What I'm trying to say.
No. I'm saying if they did, even if they did go see, they could have the certificate saying I got a glandular problem, but they're eating fried chicken.
Mm-hmm.
So at the end of the day, yes, that thing is true, but you're also causing yourself pain. So we can give you excuse without giving you a full excuse for everything. Mm-hmm. We have psychologically, and I'm not picking on abuse. I'm not trying to pick on abuse. It could be anything like emotional abuse. It doesn't have to be physical. I was in a relationship where that man went out his way to try to make me feel like I was the stronger person and he was this weak little meek person while he was manipulating every goddamn thing.
Behind the thing, pulling strings.
Yes, puppet man. Like
you up there.
Stupid, I can say. Like, but for real. And so I'm not sitting here saying this to say that that's easy. It was not easy to leave my relationship. That's why I left the way I left. I left like a ninja in the night.
Thief in the night. Yeah, I know somebody else that left like a thief in the night too. This is just up and left.
You got to. Like, but my point being is it took me years to leave something I knew wasn't working for me from the first day that I realized it wasn't working. It took years from that time because of the things that he was doing, but the things I was doing to myself. I valued his needs more than I valued myself. And that's not to say that there wasn't emotional manipulation happening. That's not to say none of those things. But at the end of the day, if I want to be better, I got to acknowledge the power I have.
Yeah, because you have to acknowledge that you do have control of part of that situation.
Yes. And so, like, I hope it doesn't come across as insensitive. I'm just sharing my experience, and if, because to me, there's power in understanding that you have control, and your control, and it's not just as simple as leaving. Because like I know relationships that used to be knocked down, drag out fights. Then they finally got to a healthy place where they're not putting their hands on each other. And they finally, I don't know if they got tired. I don't know
who you're talking about.
Yes.
That's sad. I know who you're talking about.
Yes, I am talking about it.
Uh-huh.
But look at them now. So I'm not suggesting that leaving is the issue. I'm suggesting finding a way to heal is the issue, because just like you're a victim, the person who's putting his hands on people, I'm pretty sure they don't come from a situation where they weren't getting their hands put on.
Yeah. They also like hurt people. So they might have also been a victim in that situation, but this is how they express it because that's what they know. So
once you start finding peace. Yeah. Once you start finding some way to find peace and solace in your life changes. Like, I will say your niece. I'm gonna have a conversation with you. We're gonna talk about how
number 1 and number 2.
Number 1.
Okay. All right.
Number 1. Okay. Anyway, we when we get to a point where the little child messed with me. I forgot what I was saying. But when we get to a point where we stop looking at the totality of the event, then we're not going to grow.
Yeah.
On both sides. Yeah. And like I said, I've seen hardcore murderers, murder people who I know, who told me there's some people missing in this world because of them. Right. And then they just changed.
They get to understand. First of all, a lot of that is understand that this stuff comes back to you. Whatever you do does come back at some point, and you start to have things you care about. You actually care about, because a lot of times those type of people don't care about anything at a certain point. So yeah, they fear the repercussions of their actions. So it makes them change their outlook on life.
I agree. I definitely agree. It also makes them realize, maybe they realize the purpose of life. Like, the older you get, the closer you get to death, the more you're like, I don't have time.
Those layers start falling away. The stuff that used to aggravate you, oh, okay, that don't aggravate me no more. The stuff that you used to frustrate you, okay, I'm not frustrated that anymore. And
I'm about to die.
You just got this. You used to have this, and now you just got this. Because you start thinking about, I'm gonna get to the point where I'm not gonna want to work no more. I want to retire. When I retire, I want to live a decent life until I get ready to die. I don't want to be dealing with all this foolishness. I don't want to have to worry about all this other crap. I just want this peace, able to eat, roof over my head, laugh, love life to pursue happiness. That's it.
Yep. And I think that clears things up. And I think also, hopefully, hopefully this happens. We grow to a point where we realize the price that we're not willing to pay.
But hopefully all our energy is streamlined now. All our energy goes into, going into that point. Yeah, that part to where we're not.
I know some 50-year-old fuckboys.
Yeah, and that's true too.
And I know some women who are perpetually single, who think nobody's shit, and trying to figure out how this one got this one and this one got this one, because they paid the price, and they weren't, and that's a big piper. Some people are paying the price to this day, and they can't get out their own way.
Well, I think those people are the ones that are fighting to be young. They're fighting to not age. They're running to get away from where they're going to be anyway. So yeah, they're going to do young stuff. They're going to try to stay in a certain situation because they don't want to be viewed as being old. It's freeing to live in reality where you at. It's freeing. At some point you have to be like, this is who I am. This is where I'm going. I'm not fighting this. I have to get here. So why do anything else? You pay. That's another price you pay. You pay on the front end for some stuff, and it's going to hurt you on the back end. You get to retirement age and you looking around like, oh shit, cat food.
I told you,
cat
it's real. It's real. I ain't trying to live that life. My thing is, and like what you said, the price we pay now isn't necessarily now, it's later. Like men, y'all trying to get it in with everybody you possibly can get in day after day after day after day, then you never learn the true joy of intimacy with your partner. You never learn it. That person just becomes a body to you, a thing to do. You never learn how to enjoy the relationship that you're in. And that's why you have these amazing relationships with your friends, but these meh relationships with your partner. Because you see your partner as a job, and your job is not your joy. Women, same thing. Same thing. You look at this is a checklist of things to do. And you do the next thing and the next thing and the next thing and the next thing, and this person just becomes this arm candy, like this Coach bag or this thing.
Or the person is gonna get you to where your place is at, where you want to be at.
It becomes that, yeah. That's
a nice job. He got a nice job, you know. So if I want to get to here, I need a man with a nice job, so I get to this point in life. And
it's the checklist.
Is the checklist? Yeah, he becomes a checklist, and then you realize you're not fulfilled in that because you're just checking off stuff.
And when you think about why people cheat, right? Why people cheat? There's financial or internal, right? Where they don't feel like they're attractive. They don't feel wanted by their partner. They don't feel, because you made this person a workhorse. This person is taking care of your kids, whipping a titty out with your kids because you keep having y'all keep getting pregnant instead of, nothing wrong with having kids, but you can't be like, ain't no, look, I ain't never seen one sexy lady sit there with milk stains on her. Like, she's like, when you have a job to do, you have a job to do. And if you don't find another way to nurture the other sides of you, then you just become a workhorse.
Yeah.
And you just become the thing. Balance.
You have to find that balance in your life.
I agree. So, I mean, it's not popular. Like I said, I'm always getting in trouble for making these statements. I'm like, marriage ain't sexy unless you make it.
Yeah, you have to work at that. It's something you have to be conscious of. You know, we do this every day. It's an everyday thing. Let me throw some spice in that thing. Let me throw some Tony Sashrin in that thing.
Yeah, because, and if we think about it, if you look at your, it's funny, we started this podcast. I think one of the first videos we did was the polyamory one, in the Blackout session. And not that they have by no means do they have the blueprint to what a great relationship looks like. But I will say this.
They're open to,
in theory, they're open to figuring it out.
And figuring out something different other than what the norm is.
Yes. And so I give them props for at least being willing to try to maneuver different avenues. I give them props for that. I see a lot of Black men on these polyamory groups who are open-minded to the idea that their wife isn't just their wife, that she's a sexual being with needs that he may not be able to satisfy, and it doesn't affect his manhood or ego to say it. Like that kind of stuff. Like, it's like, oh, okay, there's an opportunity for evolution. Yeah. So, like, and I'm starting to meet more people, more men actually, who are wanting emotional intimacy, which is something I don't think I've ever been privy to in the past.
You know why?
Because I was damaged.
No, not even that. Not even that. Because society-wise, right? It was looked upon a certain way, especially Black men. If they were somewhere talking like Keith Sweat begging for, or whatever, they were looked at a certain way, and they were talked down to. Yeah, they was talked down to. So, now we're starting to get into the point where women want men to tap into their emotions. Women want men that are more emotionally mature or whatever. So now,
but I also think they're just exhausted. And I think that as you get older, you're like, fuck it. I want a martini. I shouldn't have to worry about that being gay.
My friend just told me that earlier. Talking about she looking at every dude sideways because everything they talk about is gay. So yeah, I was about to say, I watched KS. I watched his podcast the night before, and it was talking about how a female got on there talking about she feels offended when a black man tell her to smile, and it was great dialogue. It wasn't his usual, where it was a back and forth, and then you had a therapist come on there and try to say that her resting bitch face is because she feels she feels sorrow for what men got to go through in life, and yeah, he got himself in that point because you're gonna treat a black man a certain way because you feel sad about how other black men are being treated in this world. So yeah, he had to get himself with that one. But the whole thing with his whole interaction with them three women was eye opening to the fact that we look at each other like enemies.
You know how many times I said that? I've told you that on this podcast.
Yeah, you said that, but no. I say no. Listen to what I'm saying. How I'm saying it. I'm saying it for the PC version of it, but I don't think men don't look at black women the enemy. A lot of men are
bigger than black women. It's women.
Okay. Well, you got to explain that. But what I was about to say is they're reacting to something they're hearing every day, right? I agree. Think we're hearing stuff every day and we're reacting to it. So it becomes this cycle. It becomes this loop of hurt. It becomes this loop of tit for tat, basically.
I mean,
that was it.
Okay, I agree. Go ahead.
No, and it's like where y'all more vocal on it, we internalize stuff, and until y'all say something to us, then it becomes where y'all get mindful of, oh wow, he's lashing out. Who hurt you? But the thing is that we hear stuff every day. We're not immune to we don't close our ears to this talk, this rhetoric, the stuff that's been pushed. Every time you turn on TV, a black man is black men this, black male this, whether it's crime, whether it's abuse, whether it's whatever, that's how we're viewed in the media. So that's why we're tired. We're tired because we have to jump through hoops. We have to go up hills and valleys in order to prove our point just when meeting somebody, just to be seen on a regular level, just to see on base level, right? We have to go through all kind of loops and all kind of hamster wheels and shit in order to say, you know what, I'm not that dude that you talking about. And that's why dudes are tired. That's why they're expressing this stuff now.
Yes, and they're a part of the problem as well because they perpetuate the same stereotypes. They become the people who the person who uses the term that's gay so much is men. Women use terms. What kind of man does this? What kind of man does that?
Somebody brought up a good argument, right? Because the man told us, it was in a group. She said something, and the man told her, "It's messed up that y'all always screaming about how homophobic black men are, but the first time a man disappoints you or do something, you might have gay friends. You call this man gay as an insult. So I agree. How is a black man supposed to not be homophobic when the women it's calling them, using as an insult? How are they not supposed to feel some kind of way when that is used against us as an insult, right? And I'm like, wow, I never thought about that.
I agree, but they use it again as an insult themselves. So it's not just in a silo. It's not just like it's a cause and effect. But the cause and effect also can be the man who's doing it to their son, who's like, oh, don't hug me, that's gay. And there's always a cause and effect. There's always an origin story to everything. But at the end of the day, your origin story too, males, when you perpetuate the same stereotypes.
Okay, so since we gonna go to origin story, let's go back to the origin story of that which you were talking about. So the origin story is that why black men feel how they feel, because I had this talk this week also, is because of homosexuality. Goes back to slavery, when buck breaking, when they used to take the black man, they used to rape the black man in front of people. then that was passed down generation to generation. That's where the homophobia comes from, is because white men used to rape us in front of it because we used to be, they didn't want anybody to follow us. We're going to break you down. So they raped us. So not only did the women get raped, but the men got raped also. So that's where it originally comes from. And it was just passed down from generation to generation. It's the boogeyman stories. Just like black men became the boogeyman stories from women from generation to generation. Grandmother told mama, don't trust no man, don't trust this man, or whatever. Don't give all you the man. Then the mama passed down to the daughter. It's those stories that keeps us passing on stuff.
I understand that there's a beginning origin story, but at the end of the day, you become a beginning origin story too. And I'm not gonna sit there and keep going back without staying in the present as well. Mm-hmm. So yes, you are a victim of it, but sometimes we become the victimizers.
No, it because hurt people. I mean, when we get to the point, okay, just like, we have in our community, right? We have in our community where we can say N-word this all day long to each other, right? But somebody else says N-word and it's a problem. It's kind of like that. I'm not saying it's totally like that, but it's kind of like that, right? The way we express stuff to each other, like, okay, so it's either going to be that what you said, or it's either you acting like a girl. Quit acting like a girl. It becomes one or the other.
But whether it is or isn't, it's still like at the end of the day, we still have a say in what we do, right? Mm-hmm. Even if we don't feel like we do, mm-hmm. right? And we have a say into, like, I used to have this big problem with this one woman I knew because she was like Christian, very Christian, but every now and again she'll find a vagina on her mouth.
No, okay.
It's a sin. All this homosexuality is a sin. Oh my God. Mwah. Mm-hmm. Then one day she magically marries a woman, and then she puts this post out on Facebook, and it was like, oh, I've been problematic. Mm-hmm. And while I appreciate her realization, how she has this true come to Jesus moment about her own actions and how she played a part in her stuff, does it deter the fact that she played a part in diminishing people who were going through stuff and their experiences because she was struggling in her own shit, pushed it on somebody else? Like, so yeah, I understand what she's going through because she grew up in the church and the church pulled her down or whatever, but then she aided in that. And I can't ignore the aid that we make. I'm not ignoring the origin story, but again, at the end of the day, if you keep doing what you're doing, you're going to become the origin story for somebody else.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree with that. I was going back, but that's just like, okay, if, like, since we were talking about relationship, gender, whatever, dynamics, if a man does something to a woman, right? If he's doing stuff to a woman, then he has a daughter. Now it's a problem now.
Yeah.
Or women,
it was always a problem.
It was always a problem, but I'm saying to that person, it's a problem now. So, we perpetuate the problems, and then we get mad on the back end when we have something tied into it. Mm-hmm. Just like women have an issue with men. Like I've seen places where women have said stuff about men, and a man ain't a real man if he don't do X, Y, Z. And girl, you should do this, that, the other. Now they have a son, and if a woman do that to her son, now she is a problem. But you perpetuate that stuff. You're part of the problem, and we need to understand that we need to start dealing with each other on good faith, like not based on these stereotypes, not based on what we hear other people doing or we see other people saying, whatever. We need to start checking that situation, that bad information.
I agree because these are the prices that we pay. This is all a part of the price we pay. The price we pay for the I always say I always talk about how it's not as simple as just, I say pussy and penis, because at the end of the day, That's what it
Yeah,
is.
that's
But
what we
this
got
is the
there.
price we
A
pay.
girl got a vagina, a boy got a penis.
Boys have penises and girls have
Girl got
vaginas.
vaginas.
Oh, we watch too much TV, y'all. Uh, so if that's the price we pay for it,
Mm.
then what does the price, what does the cost look like? And this is the cost. The cost is delayed gratification about what you truly want and need in life, if at all. Delayed gratification, because some of us didn't make it to enlightenment.
Mm-mm.
Some of us died beforehand. Some of us, things happened. So delayed gratification, uh, missed opportunities, missed opportunities with the right people, because you weren't ready for it. Women, I don't know how many times I heard women say, he's nice and all, but I need a hard man.
Exactly. When they're younger, that's what you hear all the time.
Mhm.
You're
Or
too nice.
men is
Or
like,
you're
oh,
too
she got
nice.
a fat booty.
Mm.
But then you was like, well, she ain't smart, she ain't this, because you didn't ask for that.
Yeah,
You got what you asked
got
for.
what you asked for. Yeah.
So now the one with the big booty now you got big problems with the big booty because she got a baby and she putting you through every single piece of hell. Like, these things are the things that these are the prices that we pay for that temporary moment, that long-term moment. Sometimes you never get an opportunity to get to the moment. And the future scars that you could possibly place on your future generations.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sins your fathers is repeat through your sons, sins your mothers repeat through your daughters. Also, the thing that we never realize, right? And I was back and forth this weekend. I'm always putting something out and always having debates. So this weekend, one of the things I was back and forth. One of the women that tune into the Black Male Podcast. She put something out there, and I was like, as far as relationship wise, we never look at this. Men and women not being together on long term when it comes to after retirement and all that stuff, we mess up our own financial our own financial stuff. If we was together, let's say every man and woman married, right? You're passing on, let's say that they're working, that you're doing what you're supposed to do, you're being an adult, you're being a grown adult, you die, your money goes to your wife, which goes to whatever, it goes down. If you die and you're single, that money goes to the government. The government profits heavily from us not getting together.
Boom. The price you
And
pay.
that's what we don't
I didn't even
understand.
think
We
about
do
that.
not
Good,
understand
good
it.
answer. Good answer.
We do
Good
not
answer.
understand it. And that's I'm always somewhere. And that's why I told you when I was going to do the relationship thing I'm doing or whatever I'm going to do, it's because of that. Because the end result is that we suffer as a community because we're not getting together, and the government is always going to profit off our pain. And we need to
Yes.
stop that from happening.
Boom. All day long. And it's not just Black people or white people. This is people.
Mhm.
If you don't start finding connections and finding your needs and your joys and whatever, and stop being told what you need,
Mhm.
and with the proper way to live life, you're going to be that's why so many people are unhappy in the world. Think about it. How many happy Christians do you know?
They're
They are there.
they're
Not
there,
saying they don't exist,
but
but I know a lot of haters.
but see what I think it is. I think,
That's
and
Christian.
we're about to get way off topic. We're about to get way off topic on something, but I think it's because when you have a serious belief, when you have a faith thing, you feel something's supposed to be one way and it's supposed to be this way, and because reality is not the way that you think it is, you're unhappy. So that's what I think it is. It's not
That's
because
my point.
yeah, okay,
That's
all
my
right.
point. You've been sold a bill of goods and you haven't been able to figure out what works for you.
Yeah, it's not an individual. It's not an individual process. It's a group mentality type thing.
Mm-hmm. That's what it is. And so, no shade against the Christians, but that's the easiest way to say it. Like, it's like they become like, it's the one I see the easiest. Like, I've seen other people. I've seen women
Well,
who
groups, different groups of people like that identify with certain groups. That's why I don't identify with groups, BLM, or whatever other groups they have. You end up following the crowd, and you don't never look at yourself in that to see, where I line up with this, where I don't line up, and I'm able to go my own way.
I agree. I agree. And you know, I feel that way. You know, I'm a curmudgeon. I'm like, all right, hey people, I'm going over here. Oh no, I'm not a part of this. I'm going over here. Like I think the craziest thing was when I joined a sorority and they were like, you can't hang with your friends. I'm like, what? They're
Mm-hmm.
my friends. You're my sorors. They're my choice.
Mm-hmm.
Like that never made sense. And you're not gonna do it. But that's what happens. We have to start questioning everything. You know, I was thinking, again, this is not for me to judge. Like, I'm not getting on the Christians, not trying to. One thing,
Get in the inbox, Christians. KNECOLE. Get at her.
narking, that's what you, narking. Um, uh,
Jesus. That's right.
what
Your mama
did
gonna be number one in that
Eve
one.
tell you?
You know, your
But what did Eve tell you? What did the lesson that Adam and Eve teach? Remember, the whole point was she ate from the tree of knowledge.
tree of knowledge. Mm-hmm.
So, it to me, it leads me to believe that they don't want you to ask questions. They don't want you to educate yourself. They don't, you know what I mean? That's the underlying statement, the story that I heard growing up, not from my family, but I heard it in the church. Like you can't ask questions. You can't do things that underline what we told you. So of course it's frustrating. You remember when you were a kid and you were told you be seen, not heard?
Mm-hmm.
Trying to be told that as an adult. Be seen, not heard. What the hell? I'm an adult. I pay taxes.
Mm-hmm.
I can't voice my opinion. Like, so I said
But
that
that's
to
what's
say
going on now with that cancel culture, though. That's exactly what's going on.
I agree with you. I hate cancel culture. I think that the only way your opinion can even adjust is by expressing it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
That's it.
you have to have these talks in order for. I mean, you have to be. They have to be okay with you being wrong, so you can adjust and come to a different point in your life. If you never say what's on your mind, you're just sitting there with that in on your mind, not even challenging your thoughts.
Yeah.
For fear of other people condemning you or bashing you.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Mm-hmm. Like, that's it. Like, I mean, uh, it could be as simple as the price you pay, like you start paying for Pum Pum and stuff, or you get with a girl who bleeds you dry because you didn't do that, or it could be as simple or hard as all of what you work for is wasted because you have nothing to go to pass it on to,
Yeah.
no one nothing to show for it because you paid the price for undervaluing yourself.
Black people get a living will. If you don't have a wife or nothing, get a living will. Even if you have a wife, get a living will. So your money could be good to go on to your people.
I'm gonna make y'all Hunger Games it up.
Yeah. May the odds be forever in your favor.
No, that's all I have. That was my thoughts. If you get a chance, watch the video with
I'm watching. I'm
Adana.
watching. I'm watching.
It was really good, like really thought provoking, really good. That's all I can say.
Anybody watching, I'm gonna put it on in the comments so I could, so y'all could see it too.
So that's all I have. Thanks for entertaining it because I really was like,
I didn't know where it was coming from, but okay.
well, I sent you the research.
Yeah, but I didn't know there was corresponding. I
See?
didn't know that went with it though, because you didn't explain this goes with this.
It came after it. I sent it and it came. I said, this is what the title is going to be. And then you missed all of that. That's okay. Whatever. That's okay. That's okay. Willie don't like women, y'all.
Yes, that's what you're saying. No, what happened was that because you told me to
put it in the wrong place.
Yeah, but you told me to put the ADHD that we're gonna post in off of that page there, off of that account. So I really don't go to that account no more because it's all on the page. So that's why it happened. I really don't go to that account no more like that. Okay. I usually tag from my page to that account most of the time when I'm posting on there.
Okay. I'm just joking.
I hate women. That's what the general consensus is.
You need to do better. Do better, bro.
I know.
Better. You and Trump. All y'all grabbing people out of pussy.
Especially when I start talking about stuff. You hate black women.
So, and I think the differentiation
because I love black women. How about that? That's the That's the real.
Differentiation is sometimes you got to hear something you don't want to hear. Take your medicine. That's the difference. So that's all I have.
That's all I got to.
Step up your poom game, your penis game.
Don't be accepting $15 for that's
Don't be buying Viagra because think about this. Y'all keep playing around. Y'all gonna be needing Viagra to get through.
Yeah, but you know what? Yeah, I have my mixed feelings about that because if I can't live life like I want to live it, if I can't enjoy the spoils of life, take me out, Lord. Lord, take
Viagra. But I'm saying there are people using Viagra. It's 20-something-year-olds using Viagra.
Yeah, no, that's a problem. Yeah.
That's amazing to me. Yeah. I'm like, what?
Only when because they trying to destroy it. They trying to beat it in and they trying to destroy the poom.
And now it don't work. They broke it. Now they're in their 40s. Broke.
Yeah, and that's their price they pay. That's the price they paid for it.
Need a nap. Now they want a nap. Can't understand why that woman cheating because they want a nap. But anyway, that's all I got. We did an hour. We've been doing good on this hour. We've been doing real good. So that's all I got. Y'all have a good week.
Yeah, everybody have a good week, and we'll talk. I'll put up next week. We're gonna put up whenever we get it. I'm gonna be sure to. What the hell going on outside? I'm gonna be sure. I don't know what that was. Sound like a firecracker or something.
Okay.
Yeah, or not.
Yeah. How about you stay inside? How about that?
I gotta go outside. I just be carrying. I do what I do. Anyway.
Bob and weave.
Yeah. Next week, on Black Male Podcast, y'all, we're gonna talk about sexual awareness. Because Sexual Awareness Month is the end of the month. And that's gonna be what we're gonna do on Black Male. So just to let everybody know. Anyway, all right, everybody. Have a good weekend. Have a good week. I'm sorry. And
yeah, we can overdo it.
Yeah, we can. I'm sorry. Damn it. Shit.
Wow.